Welcome to the Oregon Preferred Pumper Program. In the next few minutes, we will demonstrate what a pump out should look like and what to look for when doing the inspection while the pumper is there. This program was developed to protect the public's infrastructure, such as collection system overflows and wastewater treatment plants, where collection system overflows could eventually inundate our rivers and streams. Fats, oils, and grease, or FOG, need to be maintained in the pre-treatment grease removal device that was installed at the food service establishment. To protect these investments, restaurant managers will need to learn how to inspect their own grease removal device before and after the pump out, and your preferred pumper is responsible for all reporting. This process will properly track protection of the restaurant's property and equipment, the public's infrastructure, and our rivers and streams. The Preferred Pumper Program has developed a set of minimum standards that are a requirement for program members and should be a minimal standard for any vendor providing this service. Whether it is the restaurant manager or the city's representative that inspects the interceptor, they both need to be familiar with these standard cleaning procedures. This will ensure these interceptors are maintained properly and will last for years to come. The set of standards are as follows. Pump out the interceptor completely, all the way to the bottom of the base of the interceptor so its integrity can be inspected. Pressure wash the entire vault system from at least the FOG waistline down. Remove all accumulated grease from the walls. Ledge and ridge grease, no clump grease on walls. Pressure clean the inlet tee, outlet tee, and baffle wall elbow. Remove all visible grease. Spray water and confirm that the center wall baffle elbow is clear. Water should be clearly flowing on the other side of the wall. All cleaning activity waste must be removed from the vault via the pumper truck. Take note of the tank condition. Report missing tees. Note baffle wall's condition, missing 90-degree elbow or tee. Note any leakage under the baffle wall from one chamber to the other. Note any leakage at the bottom or sides of baffle wall from the inlet bay to the outlet bay. Note any water leaking into the vault through the outer vault walls. Complete the approved reporting form and submit to your municipality, which can be found on the Preferred Pumper Program website at www.preferredpumper.org.
I'm Randy Watson, Preferred Pumper Program, and this is inspection of Grease Interceptor Part 1. Before you even start your inspection, you want to ensure that the shrubbery has been cut back, and on this interceptor you can see that it could inhibit the pressure washing of this vault. The pumper has really no access to clean this vault because of the shrubbery, so you want to make sure that you cut it back. You want to make sure that there are no cars parked next to the interceptor that could cause him problems when he's pumping out this vault. You want to have full access to all sides of the interceptor for the pump out. Whether you be a restaurant manager or a city or municipality inspector, you'll need a manhole puller. You'll need a light to do the inspection, and I'm just going to set this down here. First thing you'll want to do is come in and pull the manhole of your interceptor and use your legs to lift the manhole lid, since it is very heavy. But you lift, pull it free, and then pull the other manhole lid. What you have is an influent and an effluent chamber. You'll be inspecting both of them today. So after you've pulled the lids on these vaults or interceptors, the first thing you're going to look for is to make sure that this interceptor has been pumped clear to the bottom. All of its contents have been pumped out. You're going to make sure that the walls have been pressure washed. All of these walls have been pressure washed as far as you can see during your inspection. After ensuring that the walls have been pressure washed and that the entire contents have been pumped out, you're going to look at this baffle. This is what we call the baffle. And this is the influence side of the interceptor, which is always the bigger chamber. This baffle needs to be clean. It needs to be clear all the way through the bottom, and it needs to be attached. If this is missing, it needs to be mentioned on the report form. If it hasn't been pressure washed, you need to mention that on the report form. And if they've left contents in the bottom, that also needs to be mentioned on the report form. The other part of the influent chamber is the center wall 90. And this 90 needs to be attached, and it overflows into the effluent chamber. That should also be pressure washed, and the baffle wall in the center also needs to be cleaned. During your inspection, you want to make sure that this vault is not leaking from one chamber to the next, and that wall is sealed. Today we're going to show two different vaults, one that will pass an inspection and one that would fail an inspection. And if you're the food service establishment, you'd come out and you'd pull your manhole lid. On the discharge side of the vault, we are looking at the small side of an interceptor, and you can tell because it is the small chamber, the wall's right here, and there's a substantial amount of grease on this side of the interceptor. And if you look inside the baffle, which you can see there is grease bypassing this vault and going to the public side of the interceptor, which would be clogging our collection system lines and could cause an overflow. This interceptor would fail an inspection and would have to be pumped out in shorter intervals. Okay, here's an example of an interceptor that is working properly. As you can see, we're on the small side. This is the discharge side, and you can tell because of the wall, the center baffle wall. The water's fairly clear. There's signs of grease, but the water's fairly clear. And in the discharge baffle, which is right there, you can see that it is clear water going to the public sewer system, free of grease.
We hope this video presentation has been beneficial in showing you the proper way to inspect and report interceptor maintenance. All the required information to inspect and report can be found at www.preferredpumper.org. Thank you to those involved in making this training video.